we will absolutely positively put on the baddest card of all time.
McGregor hasn't been in a while. I saw right when this came out, he was back in the ring. Jones, we don't know if he was serious. Is he not retired anymore? Is he back in
You jump back in the pool, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Officially?
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us the timeline of Jon accepted the fight, went to Thailand, came back, didn't want the fight? What happened?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Thailand was the end of it. You know, we were talking about it before that. But yeah, the fight was done. We had the fight done a long time ago. So why he decided not to fight, you guys will have to ask him that.
Is it accurate that there's a lot of reports about figures he was offered? Is it fair to say he was offered?
Jon Jones just got told no. Dana White said he's not putting Jones on the big 2026 White House UFC card. And Tom Aspinall, he found the whole thing pretty funny. Jones has been trying to make a comeback ever since Donald Trump said he wants to bring a UFC event to the White House lawn. Jones even rejoined the USADA testing pool. He had one thing in mind, fight on July 4th, 2026. And he wanted to face whoever held the heavyweight belt by then. Right now, that's Tom Aspinall. But Dana White made it clear, Jones isn't part of the plan, he's out.
So they've announced this White House UFC fight. What do you think about that?
I think it's exciting. Very exciting.
Can we expect to see you on the card?
I can't promise anyone anything, but I have very...
After UFC 318, Dana didn't beat around the bush. He said straight up, he can't trust Jon Jones. And just like that, the idea of Jones fighting on that card was shut down. That's even more surprising because not long ago, Dana hinted that both Jon Jones and Conor McGregor could be part of that historic event. Jones fired back online saying he'll be ready anyway, but it sounds like the decision is made. As far as UFC leadership is concerned, Jones isn't in.
Big a Jon Jones fan as anybody, and I've always defended he's not afraid of Tom. He's willing to fight anybody. It's hard to not fall into that narrative here, though. You know, like, to me, like, fighting on the White House, like, that doesn't do it. But maybe I'm a different person. You know, maybe everybody looks at it different. For me, like, if you tell me they're going to have a fight at the White House, like, cool, all right. Like, it'd be cool to do it. If not, whatever. Like, a fight's a fight. Maybe
Tom Aspinall sees it for what it is. To him, it's simple. He's already moved on. While Jones is still trying to force a comeback, Tom has signed his first title defense. When he appeared on UFC on Eurosport, he confirmed it. The fight is set. Even though he hasn't physically signed anything, he said, yeah, it's on. Then added, I don't even remember the last time I signed a contract. They ask, I say yes. That's it. To Tom, a verbal yes means more than a signature, and he's already said yes.
Why is that fight not happening? Well, it could be for two reasons. It's either that Jon Jones is using a strategy to have more money.
You can say it, GSP. Go for it. Come on, say what you want to say.
If he has no intention of coming back, that's not right. Make negotiation happen or, you know, get things.
Jones never wanted to face Tom. He avoided that talk for months. After his injury, no one knew if he'd come back to heavyweight at all. Then suddenly, just when it seemed like the UFC was done with him, Jones tried to sneak back in through this White House card. Now that door's closed too. Meanwhile, Tom's hearing new names thrown around. One big one, Alex Pereira. Alex's recent training videos show him looking much bigger than usual. Some think he's getting ready for a move to heavyweight. But Tom isn't buying it. Talking with former UFC fighter Stefan Struve, Tom said Pereira's team is smart. They know how to get attention. That weight gain could be just for hype. Tom said, from what I know, that's pretty normal. Big light heavyweights often get up to 240 or 250 pounds. Maybe he's teasing, maybe it's real, I don't know.
Again, saying that he is supporting the idea of Pereira versus Aspinall. We know Aspinall will do it. He already tried at 300. We know Pereira will do it. He has a chance to set history. Champ is not likely to ever happen to any of us. Again, like, there's a really big population that wants to see Jon Jones versus Pereira. There's a really big population that would rather see Jon Jones versus Aspinall. The winner of Ankalaev Rachik is going to take on Pereira, okay? Whatever your level of excitement for that is going to be. It still does not equal how badly you would like to see Pereira taken on top.
Pereira usually walks around at 230 pounds. Lately he looks even heavier, so now people are really thinking he might move up and face Tom. But honestly, the more likely story is that Pereira wants his light heavyweight title back. He lost it to Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 313. When asked about fighting Pereira, Tom didn't say no. Any fight's interesting to me, he said. I don't need much to say yes. Tom's easy like that. You tell him he's fighting, and he's in. Still, he said if he were Pereira, he'd want that rematch and the light heavyweight belt back first. But I'm not him, Tom added. So I don't know.
Why not happening?
Well, it could be for two reasons. It's either that Jon Jones is using a strategy to have more money.
You can say it, JSP. Go for it. Come on, say what you want to say.
But I think that's why he's doing it. You know, if he's doing it just to hold the title, to serve the way.
Pereira had defended that belt 4 times before losing it. Since then, he's been quiet, but his changing body has everyone talking. Is it a real move to heavyweight or just a PR trick? Tom isn't concerned. Unless the UFC says, here's your next fight, he's not losing sleep over it. Jon Jones, though, his situation is messy. A few months ago, he said he was retiring. Then he rejoined the testing pool. Then he begged for the White House fight. Now Dana says no, and there's no clear way forward for him. Not in the UFC, not at the White House, not right now.
I'll just come out and ask you, do you think he's ducking Tom Aspinall?
No. Jon Jones, I said it a million times, I'll say it again. He's never ducked anybody other than that one goofy time with the Chael Sonnen thing. He's never ducked anybody. And, I think the reality is, whatever changed his mind with this fight, I don't know, you'd have to ask him that, but, he's 38 years old, and I don't know.
Do you think if it was someone like Alex Pereira, he would fight them? And it's maybe Tom that he specifically doesn't fancy?
Jones isn't injured, he's not suspended, but he's also not trusted. For someone once called the greatest fighter ever, that's a tough fall. And Tom, he doesn't need to beg for anything. He's got the belt, he's already getting booked. His calendar's moving forward while Jones is stuck, waiting, hoping.
We don't know if he was serious. Is he not retired anymore? Is he back in
You jump back in the pool, so.
How sick is that for you that now you kind of got this White House event for them, and it's like, I feel like this is what brings...
No matter who popped up or who didn't or whatever, we would have put on an incredible card.
What would be the dream main event?
The dream main event right now would be Aspinall versus Jones.
Is it possible that McGregor...
Back in May, Jones tweeted, then deleted, a message about possibly retiring again. Then he claimed he was hacked. To fans, it's confusing. 1 minute, he's retiring. The next, he's preparing for a comeback. Then he's retiring again. Tom doesn't care. He's not rattled by any of it. His name is getting linked with fighters like Jailton Almeida, Sergey Pavlovich, Cyril Gane, and now Alex Pereira. The UFC hasn't said who's next, but Tom, he already agreed. That's the difference. He's saying yes. And Jones? He's still shouting from the sidelines.
Got no ego. I don't...
Yeah. I understand you don't want to talk about it. Do you believe that maybe outside of Jon Jones, you versus Tom is probably the biggest fight in this division?
Yeah, probably.
Jones is still trying to get attention. Tom is already booked. Even Ankalaev, the current light heavyweight champ, doesn't seem too excited about a Pereira rematch. He said he'd rather fight Carlos Ulberg, who he thinks is actually more dangerous, so Pereira might seriously think about moving up to heavyweight, maybe even for just one fight. Tom doesn't care. He'll fight whoever. That's what the UFC loves about him. He doesn't complain, he just says yes. Unlike Jones, who spent years arguing with the UFC about money, opponents, fight dates, now the roles are flipped. Jones is begging to be on the card. Dana's saying no, and Tom, he's not just in the fight, he's the star.
Jon Jones finally wants to fight Tom Aspinall, but this time at the White House. I told you guys that Jon Jones was playing chess, not checkers, this entire time. Someone just tweeted this at Jon Jones saying, ducking Tom Aspinall, ? Best decision you ever made, ? Jon responded, choosing when to attack and where you want the battlefield to be is not ducking, my friend. I tried telling every single one of you that Jon Jones was never ducking Tom Aspinall. It's very clear here that Jon Jones...
But what did you make of it when you heard Jon calling out Alex of all people?
I think he does do this because, Alex Pereira is now, he's like big star in the UFC, everybody loves him, so he knows what he's doing, but I believe he should to fight against Aspinall, but I think he a little bit afraid of him, because Aspinall is someone who can really stop him and beat him.
Yeah,
But that's what I think that...
Chael Sonnen gave his own take on what Dana said about Jones. He thinks it wasn't a total rejection. He believes Dana is playing a smart game. On the Good Guy, Bad Guy podcast with Daniel Cormier, Chael said Dana's message was meant to pressure Jones. He wants Jones to come back sooner, not just wait for 2026. According to Sonnen, Dana isn't shutting the door. He's giving Jones a choice. Come back and prove you're serious. Otherwise, forget it.
Last thing, guys, Dana White said, the last thing Dana said was, Kyle was asking him what would be his dream card. And he said, Jones versus Aspinall, Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. He thought that would be the perfect one. And the guy started talking about this, Kyle, me. And Dana goes, the UFC landscape will have changed by then. We got a whole year. Hey, initially we thought this was just a...
He's like the longest running heavyweight champion in the history of the UFC, isn't he? But he's only... Like he hasn't fought anyone?
I don't think it's going to happen, I think Jon gets a lot of money
for being champion. I think the sponsors not paying him a fortune, and I think he's just dragging along, keeping the belt as long as possible because it's worth that much money to him. I mean, John's often struggled with tall people who are good boxers. I imagine he probably, if he did fight him...
Chael said Dana's words weren't random. They were part of a strategy. He wanted a reaction, and it worked. Jon Jones answered quickly, saying he's getting ready for a return. Sonnen made it clear, just being active on social media isn't enough. UFC wants fighters who are in the octagon, not just tweeting. If Jones wants the spotlight, he has to earn it the hard way, by actually fighting.
Do you think that would have gone, Aspinall, Jon Jones? Prime versus Prime.
Prime, I'll go Jon Jones.
Really?
Sure. Yeah, 100%.
100%. You wouldn't even give Tom a go at the Prime?
No. Like I said, I rate Jon Jones highly. I believe that he's the best to ever do it. And Tom is a... For now, he's the guy now, you know what I mean?
But if they would have fought, then you'd think that Tom had a strong chance because of the timing.
Yeah.
And fighting's always about timing. Boxing.
Jon Jones unretired.
And Jon Jones is going to for that fight.
He went back into the testing pool.
Right.
But Tyler and I debated because he hasn't fought in 4 freaking years.
Yeah. I would still pick him over whoever they would charge.
Been screwed.
Right. Well, Aspinall's he's the champ now. Right.
Yeah, he's the champ, but he hasn't been paid.
No, but I would assume that if Aspinall is successful and wins once or twice going into 26, that would.
Earlier, Dana told reporters he doesn't trust Jon Jones anymore. That came right after Jones rejoined the testing pool, trying to jump on the White House event after Donald Trump announced it. Jones said he'd fight whoever had the heavyweight belt at that event, but Dana wasn't impressed. He said he needs to see real effort from Jones before any big promises get made. Sonnen saw that as a clear message. If Jones wants to be on the White House card, he needs to come back and fight first. Prove you're serious. Then we'll talk. While all this was unfolding, Tom Aspinall spoke out. In an interview with Adam Catterall, he talked about how weak the heavyweight division has become, at least in terms of star power. He looked back a decade and remembered names like Brock Lesnar, Stipe Miocic, Cain Velasquez, Alistair Overeem, Fabricio Werdum, Junior Dos Santos, Mark Hunt. Those were legends, big personalities, people everyone recognized. Today, most top 15 heavyweights are unknown to the average fan, but Tom wasn't insulting the fighters. He said they're skilled. That's not the problem. The real issue is visibility. Not enough breakout stars, not enough huge matchups. He believes that'll change. Over the next few years, new names will rise, new stars will be born, but right now the division feels like it's rebuilding. Tom is doing his best to carry that weight. When Jon Jones announced retirement and Stipe was out of the picture, Tom stepped in. He became champ. But not everyone thinks that title is complete. Daniel Cormier spoke about it with Demetrius Johnson. He said there's a missing piece in Tom's championship run, something that fans will always question because Tom didn't beat Jon Jones. Cormier knows the feeling. Even though he was a champion, people always said, but you never beat Jon Jones. Tom's title didn't come from beating Jones or Francis Ngannou. There was no moment where the belt changed hands in a fight. It all happened in chaos. Vacated belts, retirements, injuries. So even though the UFC calls Tom the heavyweight champ, some fans see a gap, a break in the line. And it's not just about Tom. Even Jon Jones didn't beat a champ to win his belt. When he came back to fight Cyril Gane, the title was already vacant. Francis Ngannou had walked away. So Jon didn't dethrone anyone, he just showed up and took what was left. Some people still see Ngannou as the real champion. He never lost the belt in the cage. That's what the purists talk about, lineage, a true passing of the torch. But now, Ngannou's in PFL, he's boxing, Jon Jones is inactive, and Tom Aspinall is holding a championship with pieces missing. While all that's happening at the top, Derek Lewis has made it clear. He wants his shot before he retires. He's headlining UFC Nashville. If he wins, he thinks he deserves a proper title shot. Lewis says he's never had a real chance. Sure, he's fought for the title before, but both times were last minute with no time to prepare. Once he was offered a fight with Stipe Miocic while he had a knee injury. Then he got Daniel Cormier instead. Later he was rushed into a fight with Cyril Gane for an interim belt with barely any notice. In his words, those weren't real title shots. Now he wants a fair shot, a full camp, a full build-up, and he wants Tom Aspinall. Lewis knows what he brings to the table. He's not pretending he'll out-wrestle or out-grapple Tom. He's going for the knockout. That's always been his game. He holds the record for most knockouts in UFC heavyweight history. Every punch he throws is meant to end the fight. If he lands on Tom, he believes it'll be over. And if he wins his next fight, there's a real chance the UFC gives him that title shot. The heavyweight division doesn't have a lot of big names right now, but Lewis still draws attention. Aspinall versus Lewis, that could sell. And for Tom, it's not just about defending the belt, it's about building a resume. Fighting names people care about. Lewis is one of those names. Right now, the UFC's heavyweight division is split in two. One side is the present. Tom Aspinall. He's the champ. He's active. He's taking fights. He's carrying the division forward. The other side is the past. Jon Jones. Still famous. Still feared. But not fighting. Not active. Not trusted. Fans believe Dana White is trying to bring those two together, but he's doing it his way by making Jones take action. Until Jones makes a move, the show goes on without him. Aspinall, Lewis, and others will keep fighting, keep moving forward, with or without Jon Jones. But what do you think? Share your take below and subscribe.